We are going to learn how to put cars on the road in this game. Basically create a custom list of cars that you want to appear on the road. Now, my fascination with putting cars on the road it basically goes back a really long time ago. My parents bought me this game called Trainz Railroad Simulator 2004. And my father downloaded this route on it, and I went inside the route to edit it, and I saw buses driving on the road along with the normal traffic. And I was so confused. I was like, you can actually make buses drive on the road in this game? How can you do that? I thought to myself. But sadly, nothing I tried to do actually made the car appear on the road. I actually managed to find the object of the bus that was appearing on the road. And I tried everything to try to get it to appear on the road. I tried clicking on the road while the bus was highlighted. That did nothing. And I'm like, well, how is this possible? What did they do to make, did they hack the game or something? Turns out there's a simple answer as to how to get cars to appear on the road. You simply have to create a region. A region is basically an instruction that tells the game what side of the road the cars are going to drive on and what cars drive in that area. So to create the region, you're in Content Manager, you press Control N, which basically tells it I want to create something new. Now it's going to ask you what you want to create. There's a lot of stuff you can create. So highlight region and then click New. Now give it a name. I'm going to name this Japan region. Okay, now yada yada kind region. Watercolor. Okay, now the watercolor, this would basically be red, this would be green, and this would be blue, if I'm not mistaken. So basically changing these numbers changes the default color of the water for this region. And here we have default junction that basically tells the game which lever is going to appear automatically when you create a junction of track in this game. So far, however, only switch lever works. I've tried other levers and they just didn't do anything. Okay, so here we have on the right, this basically tells the game whether or not the cars will drive on the right side of the road in this region. If you have it selected, they will drive on the right. If you don't, they'll drive on the left. Since this is going to be a Japanese region, obviously you don't want them driving on the right. Okay, longitude, latitude, not really sure what those are. Well, I know what they mean, but anyway. And altitude, don't really have to worry about that. You're just trying to figure out how to get cars on the road. Okay, so author, obviously you want to put your author information here. And then let's see, car 0. This is the first of the list of cars that will appear on the road. Don't put anything in it yet though, because then you won't be able to add any more than that one car. I made that mistake in the past. So category era, basically the year that this takes place. I'll just say it takes place in any time between the 1970s and up. Because I'm putting very recent cars on this road. Okay, so category keyword, category region basically tells you what area this takes place in. Oops. Highlight Japan. Okay, what else can I add? Contact email. Okay, category keyword, contact website, customer. Okay, description. This is pretty much optional, you don't really need it. I'll just say a list of Japanese cars who appear on the road. Okay, what else can you do? Contact us. You can also write descriptions in other languages. The only other language I know how to type that's available up here is Spanish. let's see, info URL, license. So don't really need any of this stuff. You can also change. You can also change what the username would be if someone who speaks a different language is playing the game and the game was in that language. However, like I said, the only other language I know that's available is Spanish. Okay, here, the thumbnail. You don't really need a thumbnail, but if you're going to upload this to the download station, you need to have one. The thumbnail needs to be 256 by 256 pixels. I don't have a thumbnail yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and save this. Obviously, it's going to say, warning, an asset must be specified for tag car 0. Error, the tag image in container 0 is empty. The tag image in 0 must have an image file extension. We'll worry about that later. So now, go ahead and press Control M to commit it. Now it's Japan region. Now I'm going to create a image file for it, because I do plan on uploading this. Okay, first I need to... Now, for the regions, I usually just look for a picture of the flag of the country that it's going to take place in, or a map of the country. That also works too. So I found a nice image that I want to use as the image file. I'm going to right click on it and click Save Image As. And that name is fine, just hit save. Okay, now, where is it? Now, press this. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the image that I saved. It's either here or somewhere on this computer. Probably under downloads, it keeps putting stuff there. Oh, here it is. I'm going to right click on it, click copy, in case I end up needing this image later on. And then I'm going to paste it here in the folder for the region. And I don't really have to rename it, but I do have to resize it. So I right click on it and click open with, wherever it is. Okay, open with, and then click paint. Now over here I click resize. It's hard to see it because this phone's not focusing for some reason. Okay, here we go. Resize. Click pixels. Unselect maintain aspect ratio, and then on the top type 256, and on the bottom 256, and then click OK. And now I'll press Ctrl S to save it. The picture is now resized correctly. So now just exit out of this and press Ctrl M to commit it. That way it's saved that the image is there. Now I have to put the image in the region. To do that, I Control Shift C to edit it in Content Creator Plus. Then I go to Thumbnails, 0, and click this thing. Click on the image and click Open. And now Control S to save it. And then Control M to commit it. Okay, now it just has one warning. Let's see what that is. An asset must be specified for tag car 0. Gonna worry about that later. Now, here's how to add the car to the region. Press Ctrl Shift E to edit it in Explorer. Double click this config file. Now, where is it? Here you see car 0, where it says null. Enter the CUID number of the car you want to appear on the road. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay, let's say hypothetically I wanted this bus as one of the vehicles that will appear on the road. To make that happen, I go to Asset Details. Scroll all the way down. Here it's going to tell you the CUID number. Highlight the whole thing. Right click on it and click copy. Now go back to the region file. And then Control Shift E. And then config file. Where it says car 0 and it says null. Just backspace that and press Control V. Now that bus will appear on the road as car 0. You can add up to 40 cars, so it goes up to from car 0 to car 39. Unfortunately, there's a limit. You can only add 40 cars. If you add any more cars, it will just ignore the rest of them. So, if you want to add another car to appear on the road, type right underneath car 0, type car 1. And if you want to add another one, car 2, car 3, car 4, and on until you get to car 39. Okay, this basically tells the game that I want to use the full list of 40 vehicles in total that can appear on the road. Now I'm going to show you how to add yet another one, but first, Control S to save what we have so far. Then exit out of that, exit out of this, then Control M to commit the changes. Now, let's say hypothetically, this is the next car I wanted to add to the road. Okay, just go to Asset Details, scroll all the way down till you see the Asset QID. Highlight this, and then copy it. Right click on it and select copy. Now go back to the region. Oops. Control Shift E. And config file. Now where it says car 1, just press tab until you get all the way over here. They have to be directly underneath each other on the same line. Press Control V. Now, important thing to know when typing these car numbers in. There's no space between the car and the number. There's no underscore between them either. The car has to be lowercase. It has to be spelled correctly, obviously. And let's see. The QID number has to be exactly on this line. If you press spacebar like that, it's going to ignore it. And you press backspace like this, it's also going to ignore it. It has to be directly right here. And each other QID you add to it, they have to be directly underneath each other like that as well. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So, let's see if the cars we have so far will appear on the road correctly. Basically, to test it. So, I save that and press Control M. Sometimes you have to do it more than once. Okay, it still has a warning. An asset must be specified for a tag car 4, 5, etc. all the way up to 39. We're going to do that later. Right now I'm just testing to see if the cars I have so far will appear. Yes, I want to. Okay, wow, that was fast. Usually it takes me 10 minutes for that thing to appear. Okay, to test the region to see if it's working, click Create Route. Okay, I'm just going to name it A, because, you know, I don't plan on keeping this. Now, under Geographical Region, keep clicking the arrow until you find the region that you've newly created in order to test it. Here we go, Japan region. A list of Japanese cars who appear on the road, etc. Real scale. Of course, they use a metric unit, so it makes sense to have that highlighted. Now let's just put let's just put a traffic-enabled road down to see if they appear. I'll just type road. Put a road down. Don't see any cars on the road. What happened? Maybe that one's not traffic enabled. Let's try this one. Okay, no cars are appearing on the road right now. That's probably because of the error messages that said an asset must be specified for the other cars. And it's probably not going to work right until I specify an asset for all those cars. So, let's do that real quick. Okay, this time we're going to Control Shift C to edit it in Content Creator Plus. Now, because I already typed the spaces in earlier, the list is now increased, and it has 30 cars that can appear on the road. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the ones I want to appear on the road. I already made a list earlier. Sometimes it takes a while for the selector to appear. Okay, so it's probably going to be under vehicles rather than scenery. Where is it? ST... Huh, vehicles isn't here. Maybe it is scenery. Okay. Oops. How'd that happen? Okay, here we go. So yeah. Now, these are a lot of cars I want to appear on the road, but sadly, there's a limit of 40, so I gotta basically just choose from this list a list of 40 cars. I usually just choose one color each of the list of cars that are available. So sometimes 2 colors each if there's enough left over. Okay, so my favorite color is blue, so a lot of the cars that appear are going to be blue, probably. Of course, I'm going to try to make this as random as possible. Also, another tip, do not put too many trucks or buses on the road, or it'll look like they're, well, it'll basically just, there'll just be a bunch of trucks and no cars. It's going to look weird. So you basically want more cars than you want trucks and buses. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so I've added all the cars on this list that I want to appear on the road. And remember, there's a limit of 40. You cannot add any more than that, and the game will not let you. Well, actually, it'll let you make the list longer. It'll just ignore the rest of them. So now let's go to Japan region and commit the changes. Control M. And it's committed. Now, there's one last step you have to do if you want to upload the region to the download station. Control Shift E to edit in Explorer. Then go to the config file again. Double click it. Now here, where it says Trainz build and it says 3.4, you have to change that to 3.5. It has to be 3.5 or up, or it won't let you upload it to the download station. Don't make it too high though, because I think if it's like 3.7, only people who have Trainz: A New Era can download it. So okay, now it's not faulty and it has no warnings after I committed the changes. So it should be able to make those cars appear on the road after it closes, however long that's going to take. Okay, gonna try to go to this route again. And see if those cars will appear on the road now. After it loads. Okay, I'm not sure why for some reason the cars are still not appearing on the road. Let me try something else. I'm gonna create another route. I'll just call it new route. Make sure I selected the right route. Arrow's not working. Okay, here we go. Alright, now let's try it. Still no traffic. That's weird. It worked the first time I did this. I'm not sure why I did differently. The traffic is enabled. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on, but as soon as I figured that out. Okay, so I looked at the other region I created with this United States Deluxe Edition, and the only difference I saw between that route and that region and this region is that this one doesn't have a QIT table, so I added a QIT table to see if that would make the cars appear on the road. If that doesn't work, I really don't know what the problem is, because I've done this in the past, and I've done exactly these steps, and these steps did work. Okay, I have no idea why this region isn't working. I did all the steps that I did when I created the United States Deluxe Edition. I'm not sure why they're not appearing on the road. I'm going to try it on Trainz a New Era and see if I get the same result.